All right. Reminder for everybody who's new, we got a few new people on here that you can certainly go to our website and search questions between times if you're looking for an answer. Also, please use the members only site for all our announcements. Like these are our weekly announcements. Everybody should check out our new courses. Please don't go pay for any courses. You can see that on our regular website. You'll see a tab that says courses. We have a course, Stop Fighting Cancer course, which nobody here needs because you have all that information on the web member site and more. There is a detoxification course that goes through my book, The 7 Phases of Detoxification, that somebody in your family might find interesting. And if somebody in your family or somebody you know that has Lyme disease, our Lyme course, 3 Phases of Lyme, is going live. Actually, I think tonight. And then we'll have a course on the rife that I finished. Dustin just has to clean it up. And a course on genetics that I finished. Dustin has to clean that up. Those will be live in the next couple of weeks. But all of our patients, all of you are going to have free access to all those courses. Not that you need more information in your head, but you'll have access to all those courses. So we have to just figure out how to be able to give you access. So don't purchase those courses. If it's a family member, then they have to purchase it. But if it's you and your immediate family, you'll have free access to those courses. I also added about 20 new videos on the Rife page, a bunch of small Q&A short videos. Most of them are under a few minutes, but they're just Q&A on different things. If you're an expert on Rife already and you know the ins and outs, these are really for new people. And make sure you remember to jump on Monday's Zoom call if you want to do that too. Before I get to the questions, somebody chatted one in. A few weeks ago, I noticed that my number 2 ion ProWave program doesn't make the bulb even flicker. Every time I look at it, which I have done a lot lately because I just noticed this, the light is solid blue. Could this be a sign of a problem? Hopefully you mean the light on your Ion ProWave, because if it is an Ion ProWave program, you hopefully are only running it on the Ion ProWave, not on the bulb. But it should be, yes, on the Ion ProWave. Okay. Yeah, that should be just fine. You can keep using it. It doesn't always flicker. Right, let's get to some of your questions. Should all patients be taking vitamin D? If not, recommended through the testing. If so, how much and what brand? Yes, probably. Not everybody needs to be taking vitamin D through the summer if you get outside a lot. The brand, there's multiple really good brands of vitamin D. You should be using vitamin D3, but that's about all you can find now anyhow. I like a vitamin D that also has the other fat soluble vitamins in it, because I do think there's a synergistic effect with the fat soluble supplements. We use the 80K Avail. That's the product from Designs for Health. Now I think we have it private labeled, so that's not my head, I can't remember what it is, but that's I think one of the better products on the market. Partly because it has the full has the delta tocotrienol of the E in it, where some of the full spectrum vitamin D's, meaning full spectrum, meaning that they're carrying the other fat soluble vitamins. Some of them are only carrying the alpha tocopherol, and you really want the tocotrienols of the vitamin E. Are there any other supplements, vitamin, mineral, etc., that you would recommend everyone to take? Well, if you're doing the greens product, so if you're taking the greens first, there isn't a necessary, you need to be taking these other things, because that is a whole food multiple in itself. So no, some people have deficiencies in minerals for different reasons. So like for me in the summertime, I'm out gardening. That's what I love to do. So my wife and I are really big gardeners. I wish I could have you all over to our house to see all our raised beds and all our gardens. It's just, we just love to do that. So we're outside sweating a lot. So we take minerals every day besides the greens first. So that's something we take. I do not take vitamin D in the summer unless I feel like I'm coming down with something or something. I'm just feeling off, then I'll take some vitamin D. But I always take minerals in the summer just because of that. If you're doing saunas at a couple times a week, it might be good to add minerals as well because you're sweating. The more you're sweating out toxins. That's the benefit of the sauna. That's the benefit of going outside in the summertime and really sweating. But you are losing minerals too. So you just want to make sure you're not dehydrating just by drinking water. We have well water that has minerals in it, but still we take minerals because I could feel, I could just tell my legs get kind of crampy and stuff for no reason. I'm probably deficient in some minerals. After the black salve falls off the tumor, it's sometimes, this is a person that's doing black salve on a topical tumor. It sometimes, not always, is soft and mushy. I try to remove some of the debris and loose pieces before reapplying the black salve. While the tumor is soft and it wouldn't take much to remove some pieces, I try not to irritate it too much as it bleeds easily, but she's trying to remove some of the tumor. My question is, how much debridement can I do? And in doing so, do I risk spreading cancer? You don't risk spreading cancer. You just don't want to rip off tissue that, you may end up causing a bad bleed. That would be the only thing. I would be careful using any instrumentation to remove it, but if you can pick away things, I don't think there's any problem with it. I am low on energy. I have been doing the Rife Energy program a couple times this past week during the nap, and I've been wearing energy patches 3 times a week. My appetite has been suppressed for a couple of weeks, except for a few days. I located the Rife Appetite program and have now run it 2 consecutive days. How often can I run this daily? Okay, let's stop right there. This person is investigating the programs on his Rife, and I commend him for that. That's just great. That's what I want you guys to do. So I wrote those programs for your cancer that you're running, nightly programs, and I have some day programs for you, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't be investigating other programs. And boy, and I think you should be praying through those other programs and asking God what you should be running. You cannot run too much of anything. So go ahead and run. If you feel like it's helping you, continue to run a program. How often can I run this program? Daily? Yes, you can run any of those programs daily, multiple times a day. Prometheus, which is this person named their cancer wound, is draining a lot and has purged 2 large black red dead cells. Yes, I got that photo. Thank you. Another purged on Thursday, same size, etc. That is, I think, very good news. Nighttime is not too restful for me. I'm sorry to hear that. I wake up 4 to 6 times. Any suggestions to get a more restful night's sleep? You can think about taking CBD before you go to bed. There's another product called Insomnitol that's by Designs for Health that has melatonin to help you fall asleep, but it also has some good herbs like valerian and things that will help you just calm your body and help you stay sleeping. Also, a product that could just help boost your adrenal glands, can help you stay asleep, because remember, one of the things about waking up at night can be because your adrenals are drained and you have decreased cortisol production and decreased breakdown of glycogen stores in your liver. So that's a possibility too. and so it all depends on why you're waking up. Person's waking up to go to the bathroom, that's a whole different discussion. If the person's waking up because they have pain, that's another discussion. If it's just because they're just not really calling it pain, but uncomfortable because of their cancer, then I would take the suggestions that I just mentioned. Something that would just some calming herbs that maybe help to induce rest and or CBD. 2 or 3 times due to the bathroom, so it's not an easy solution to that. For men, you think of prostate supreme, and also if there is any type of bladder infection, then you want to think about treating that, because that can happen too. 2 times due to cramps before I go to bed. Once at night, I spray liquid magnesium on my legs. That can be beneficial. Taking magnesium orally can be beneficial. That's where also the multivitamins can be beneficial too. And then each time I wake up, I drink water before I go to bed. Continue to lose some weight, maybe a couple of pounds. I want to work out, but sometimes I'm tired and life just doesn't allow that. I added kachama last week to my diet, and yesterday had it 2 times daily. A little word about working out: make sure that you're just doing light workouts or light exercise. I do have a blog post on the type of exercise a person should do with cancer, so look at that as well. Where should I place the crystal hammer bulb for thyroid cancer? So if you put it up by your thyroid, you risk the bulb just keeping you awake at night because the flashing light. I don't think I would be able to do that. I've been placing it on my abdomen, over my t-shirt, under the covers at night. You could put it on your chest. It's a little bit closer to the thyroid, especially in the winter when you may keep covers higher, so you keep it covered so it doesn't keep you up. Or next to me in bed. I think it's better if it's on you instead of next to you. But it's whatever's most comfortable. Plus, it depends on whether you're sleeping on your back or your side. Should I be purchasing the QX2 bulb and stand for purpose of facing my head and neck? No, I would say no, there's not a need for that. I'm loving the infrared sauna. That's great. Makes me happy and boosts my mood, like going to a Hawaii vacation every morning. Like you're sitting out in that sun. That's fantastic. It's really good for you. Again, the main purpose of the sauna is to help you detox through your skin and utilize that. So that's a good thing. Do you do genetic testing reviews for a family member? If so, do you give recommendations on nutrition on what they should take? That brings us back to this slide, that are new courses. So one of our new courses that we're offering that won't be live for probably 2 weeks is a course on genetics. So it's going to go everything genetics in that course. And in that course, that's where people can purchase that course and get a genetic review done. But if you're a family member, then just call and ask to talk to Angie. She can get you all set up for that. So we used to not do genetic reviews for people that are not family members of patients. Now that we're going to have this course going, that enables us to do genetic reviews on anybody. So because people will be watching the videos and learning from that, not doing as many one-on-one calls. And then we'll have a genetic review by monthly Zoom call where they can ask questions. That will be with Ann. So the answer is yes, family members can do genetic reviews, and yes, they will get recommendations for nutrition and diet. So contact the clinic and ask for Angie to get that set up, and we can get a genetic kit sent out for your family. I have bone on the left hip, which seems to be getting more restrictive and painful with time. In considering hip replacement surgery, my oncologist suggests that no surgeon will touch me given the colorectal cancer. I've not talked to any surgeons for that reason, but I'm thinking it might anyhow. Connor's clinic protocol seems to be proceeding slowly but fine. Also, I am not doing any allopathic standards of care and hopefully will not need to. So it may be a while for my goal of dissolving the tumor is reached. Not sure the hip situation can wait, but also concerned with what might be wrong. I've tried supplements to rebuild the cartilage. Thoughts on suggestions on the situation. So, yeah, when you have bone on a in a joint, that is certainly a major issue. And you're right, your oncologist is probably speaking from experience and saying that the surgeons are not going to want to deal with somebody who has active cancer because they don't know if what is going on with possible metastasis to the area. They're not going to do hip replacement surgery for those kind of risks. There may be bone loss. There may be comorbidities to the cancer itself that could put you at greater risk. Think of the possibility, and somebody asked this question about using prolotherapy, which is injection of, I think it's like a saline type solution into a joint. I believe it's really only done in the knee and the hip, but there may be a practitioner that does that. Maybe you already investigated that and they won't touch you either, but that seems like it's not going to be a contraindicative injection for cancer patients. I don't think it would have anything to do with making anybody's cancer worse, even if there was cancer in there. So I would look at that. Yeah, it's a difficult thing that if you're taking if you're taking supplements, the first supplement you think of is chondroitin, and if you've done that kind of stuff, I mean, if you're bone on bone, it's not going to help that much. Yeah, I wish I had a better answer for you. There's cancer patients that have metastasis to the bone and they have bone loss and a fracture in the bone, and they still do surgery on that to put in a rod or something like that. So I would think you would be able to find a surgeon that would still go ahead with surgery. I would investigate that if I were you, or at least talk to somebody if you have confidence in them. Maybe you want to move forward. Will a person get the same benefit using decaf coffee with coffee enemas? The answer is yes and no. So some people have a sensitivity to caffeine and they just cannot do caffeine coffee enemas. They absorb it real quickly and they just get wired, and then they can't sleep. One of the solutions, if that is the case, is to do your coffee enemas in the morning, not at night. Secondly, if you're absorbing the fluid of the coffee enema too fast, it is a possible sign that you're dehydrated. So you're absorbing in your large intestine the fluid, including the caffeine, and that is part of the issue. So you might want to investigate that. Other people just have a sensitivity to caffeine in general, can't drink caffeine at all. And it does have to do with a specific gene that you don't detoxify caffeine well at all. So they can't drink caffeinated coffee or caffeinated beverages. They just don't do well with those. And I understand that. Those people we have suggested to do chamomile enemas. chamomile tea, just making chamomile tea and do that. You can do decaffeinated coffee enemas. Even decaffeinated coffee still has some caffeine in it. Make sure you use a water decaffeinated coffee, not a chemical decaffeinated coffee. However, when you don't have caffeine in whatever you're using for an enema, whether you're doing enema with a tea or a lower caffeinated product with the decaf coffee, you're not going to get as great a stimulation on the parasympathetic. So that's really the whole purpose of the coffee enema. So yes, it does make a difference when you're using something without caffeine or something decaffeinated with lower caffeine. The whole idea with the coffee enema coffee that we use, the Gold Roast coffee, is that it's a higher level of caffeine, because the higher level of caffeine stimulates the parasympathetics more effectively. So it's really the caffeine that's stimulating the parasympathetic nervous system. So yeah, you are losing some of that benefit. So do investigate, you know, the reason why you don't want to use the caffeine. Is it because you're dehydrated, or is it just because of the sensitivity to coffee and to caffeine in general? Chat question. We have a PEMF pad that fits onto a chair. Can I use Rife while sitting on the pad? Will they cancel each other out? Nope. You can use the Rife while you're doing the PEMF, completely different frequencies. You're fine. You could do the PEMF and the Rife at the same time. Any other questions? Why can't I spray your bug spray on skin? You can use your the bug spray on your skin. You just have to be careful. It is an essential oil. Just have to be careful if it's irritating. I use the bug spray on my skin. I put it on my grandkids' skin. We use it on the dog. So even the little grandkids. The only thing with that caveat is that if you're really super sensitive to different essential oils, you just have to be careful of that. That's the only caveat. I like the paleo puffs. Thanks. Aren't they good? Kind of addictive. I buy them by the case for the office, but I have to go in spurts buying them because they disappear very fast. Please repeat what minerals to take if having cramps. So I use the Multimin Plus. So that's our brand, the Connors Clinic Multimin Plus. It's called Clear Multimin Plus because it has a greater variety of minerals in there. And I'll take anywhere between 2 and 6 a day, depending on, how I feel, or if I'm out a lot during the day, sweating, if I'm out all day on a Friday or Saturday or something. And so I'll take 6 of them, I'll spread them out through the day. As I come in, I'll grab a couple. Always with minerals, I'm pretty sure I made a video and a blog post about this. Really important with minerals is you take the minerals the way they are chelated. So a mineral has to be chelated. You want to be taking minerals the way they're chelated in nature by God for us to consume. We were made to consume vegetables that have minerals in it. So where do you get your minerals? You get your minerals through your vegetables. So it hurts my brain when I hear things like this on social media. You should use cast iron pans because that's a great way to get extra iron. No, that isn't a great way to get extra iron. We were not created to be able to digest and absorb elemental iron like that. So that is not a good form of iron. So you want iron from a plant source. Now, you want minerals from a plant source. Well, how am I supposed to get it from a plant source? I can't get all what I need from a plant source. Well, then you get it the way it would be in a plant. So a plant takes minerals from the soil, takes like, let's use calcium, takes calcium carbonate, which is limestone in the soil, and it converts it to a different form of calcium that is easily absorbed and digested and absorbed, in the correct order, by humans. And it's chelated in a way with a double bond to an amino acid. So any good supplement, good reputable supplement company that sells minerals or a multiple complex is going to have the minerals in that form with a double bond to an amino acid. So like our iron that we sell, all forms of the iron that we sell, I think we have 3 different types of iron, is iron that is double bonded to glycine, I think, which is an amino acid. All the minerals that we sell are double bonded, most of them to glycine, double bonded to an amino acid. There's a company that makes for the powdered minerals that and sells it to supplement companies. There's 2 companies. I think they're actually sister companies. One is called Trax and one is called Albion. And they make those minerals and sell it. They don't sell directly. They sell it to supplement companies. So you always want to get minerals that are double bonded to an amino acid. And that's one of the ways that you can tell if you've got a crappy supplement is if it says calcium carbonate. Now there'll be some little bit of calcium carbonate in that's naturally occurring in some things, but when that's the form of calcium is calcium carbonate or magnesium carbonate, it's literally just washed limestone. You're just eating dirt. That's not how we're supposed to get our minerals. We're not supposed to eat dirt. Plants eat dirt, convert it to the form that then we eat plants. So that's why you should eat animals that eat plants and eat organic plants if at all possible. So, and that's why, grass-fed beef is even better than grain-fed beef because you're getting omegas from that as well. So just understanding minerals and understanding food. I have finished my first round of Ibrance and come down with pneumonia, finishing antibiotics tonight and developed a fever today. Oh, gee, I'm sorry about that. And that is the problem. I mean, the negative thing about chemotherapy, the positive thing is it can kill your cancer, but the negative is that it can kill your immune system. And that's why if you're going to do chemotherapy, it's so important that you do as much right feed as possible, and that you may even have to. So everybody reacts differently to chemotherapy. Some people sail through it pretty well. Some people, it just beats their immune system to daylights. Partly it has to do with your genetic detoxification pathway. Typically your cytochrome P54 and your PON1 pathways that detoxify these chemos. If you have defects of those pathways, you don't detoxify them very fast, and it just stays in your system and beats the daylights out of you. And it's beating the daylights out of the more highly metabolic cell lines, and that is your immune system. And then you end up with secondary infections like this, and that's not good. So you may be one of those people that need to bump up your immune stimulants even more when you're doing the chemo what are the immune stimulants? Or typically when we're having you on for the cancer, typically it's going to be, I don't have your file in front of you. I don't know if you're taking some immune stimulants, but it could be the immune, it could be a mushroom complex, it could be even taking more greens during that time will help, because that's going to give you a better immune boosting just by that, doing that alone. So any other questions? No? Well, this is a short Zoom call today. All right. If you jumped on here late, we got a lot of new courses coming out. Please don't buy any of the courses for yourselves. All our patients, we are going to give access to the courses as soon as we can figure out how to do that. So hang with us. Is wheatgrass powder good? Yeah, you can have some wheatgrass powder. I wouldn't just solely wheatgrass powder. I would do a greens mix. That's what I like about the greens first so much, is because it's such a variety of stuff in there. So you get a real good balance. So I would suggest if you're not already doing the greens first, that you do greens first instead of wheatgrass. Now understand, a lot of wheatgrass powder may have gluten too. It depends on when the wheatgrass was cut. So I think it's about 10 to 12 days. The wheatgrass then contains gluten. If it's less than 10 days, then it doesn't contain gluten. So if gluten is an issue, you got to keep that in your mind as well. Is juicing my vegetables okay instead of steaming? Yes, but do remember that juicing your vegetables, it's still raw. And this person asked this question is fairly young, so you probably shouldn't have much problem with that. But as we age, it's more difficult to break that down. Even though you're pre-digesting it with juicing, it can still be hard on your gut. So if you have any gut problems with juicing, then just back off. But it also depends on how much you're juicing. For goodness sakes, I'm only juicing, 12 to 20 ounces a day should be just fine. Of course, even that can be difficult if you're 80 years old. But just watch your gut is the answer. Make sure you're not getting tummy aches from the juicing or anything like that. All right. Well, I will say goodbye to everybody then today. And remember, future times, I try to get these videos up the same night, if at all possible. So if there's a time that you ask questions, day you ask questions and you can't be on the Zoom call, I try to get them up the same night. All right, be blessed. I'll be praying for everybody. Bye-bye.